Are you ready?
Yeah, turn up the heat.
Are you ready?
Is he ready?
Oh, yeah, he's ready.
It's go time.
Ready to go beyond the scores and stats.
I love it.
Good.
Let's bring it in. It's showtime, right?
Welcome to High on Sports.
The whole deal is like some kind of crazy game.
Exclusively on MorningShowCentral.com.
Hello, and welcome to High on Sports. I am Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Ashley.
and Von Erich is here as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you not hear me?
There you go.
Oh,
I don't
right.
think you were on at first.
I thought I heard
okay.
him.
Nope,
Maybe
nope.
I just heard him because he's next to me and not actually.
We'll go back and look back at the tape tomorrow and
See?
find out. But either way, thank you for joining us tonight. Whether it is on one of the many glorious apps or at home on your computer, thank you for making High on Sports a part of your evening. If you are not on one of those many glorious apps, remember to take your smartphone, search for TuneIn Radio. It is free to download. Just install it. Search MSC Radio Network, and you are listening to us live on the go from your phone, wherever you may be. And remember, as always, you can tweet at us at high_on_sports or at us directly at Von Erich. No, you're at Von Erich. Did I really just do that? At Von Erich.
At Von Erich
I
on
pointed at
Twitter.
myself and said that. You're Von Erich. I'm at eRalphieW, and she's nothing. So
Yeah.
don't even worry.
Don't
about
even
it.
bother.
She's at Facebook. So,
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
there you go. I wonder if Facebook has a Twitter. We'll find that out. Irrelevant. But anyways, we are on Facebook, facebook.com/High on Sports. And of course, get to the website. It is highonsports.net. It's got the archive of all our past shows. The blog with weekly posts by Mark. His most recent one is looking at sort of how we got where we are as far as Seattle versus Denver. What they got through to get to the grandest stage of all. So you're going to want to check that one out. Again, available exclusively at highonsports.net. That was my phone. I did not.
Foghorn.
That was
That
powerful.
did sound like a foghorn.
That was
We
intense.
are pretty close to the lake.
That was just my phone on the desk. That was something. Jeez, these Koreans make good phones. That wasn't racist. It's because it's Samsung. But anyways, let's get right into this. It is round one. Let's go. All right, where to start this week? Oh yeah, that's right. It's Super Bowl week. So that means, that's good and bad. Because it's exciting because now we're just leading up to the Super Bowl. But from a sports news standpoint, it's a little bit like, okay, how many old stories can we pull out about the coaches and how many fun stories about this guy and these guys and this. You get to all the little fluff pieces because they've run out of stuff. I remember during the playoffs that story broke about Jim Harbaugh with the, obviously head coach of the 49ers, about his pants. There was a big stories about his pants. Found out he wears $8 khakis that he gets from Walmart.
Ain't nothing wrong with
Hey,
that.
you know what? If you can find a good pair of pants and it's only $8,
Just because you're
Good on
rich
you, man.
doesn't mean you need to buy expensive ass pants. Spend your money on something
exactly. It
else.
doesn't need to be all fancy, tailored.
If I was a
Italian
millionaire, I'd
suits or
still buy the
something.
same clothes that I buy.
Sure, exactly.
I mean,
It's a little funny, the idea of just
Yeah.
seeing him at Walmart,
it just, yeah.
just with his hat and everything, just buying a big pile of pants. But
Big pile of his khakis.
the NFL actually determined that they're allowed to sell his Jim Harbaugh khakis because it counts as game uniform, NFL game uniform, the same as they can sell used uniforms by players and stuff. Basically, there's talk that they can possibly sell his used pants.
Who would want to buy a
Game worn.
grown man's
There
used
are
khakis?
football fans out there that would
it's one
love
thing-
to buy a coach's used pants. Jim Harbaugh wore these pants when he was in the Super Bowl, and now they're mine. They're framed in my man cave.
I mean, if it was a jersey or I don't know, some cleats, or maybe players' pants, you could put them on the thing. But why would you just want? Why a coach's
pants?
pair of khakis?
I mean, they're good
That's just
khakis.
weird.
They're good khakis. It's hard to find a good pair of khakis you can wear around all the time. No, it's. I mean, it gets a little ridiculous. They try to stretch a lot of things, but luckily we're not quite there yet. There's still at least some stuff going on, and we're gonna talk about some of that stuff. And it's actually about neither Super Bowl team. It's about our own Cleveland Browns. Since last we spoke to you, America, or, well, Greater Cleveland, probably more interested in this part, the Browns hired a coach. It finally happened, and I want to know initial reaction from you guys when you heard Mike Pettin was the man. Thoughts?
Okay.
Someone who actually said yes, as opposed to taking themselves out of the running.
A lot of the taking themselves out of the runnings weren't quite as they appeared. I'll give them that. Like, for example, where was one I saw? It was like Todd Bowles of the Arizona defensive coordinator. He withdrew because he wasn't going to get... I mean, like a lot of people, if they actually wanted Todd Bowles, I don't think Todd Bowles would have turned down the Browns. I think he would have accepted the job. It's a matter of, and to some extent, it's saving face. Because it's like, okay, well, I've been available, an option to them for multiple weeks. And they haven't pulled the trigger. Like, I'm not waiting. Like, I'm going to basically let everybody know I'm not waiting for a call. I'm focusing on, our off-season stuff and whatever. It really is, when you break it down, I mean, nobody turned the Browns down per se. No, but the Browns never went to somebody who was like, hey, we're interested in their, we want you. And they said no. The one that maybe, that really is, there's no saving face about it per se, is probably Adam Gase, I would say. Because he was the name that, and again, a lot of people don't stop and let themselves get confused with all this hype and stuff. It's kind of the media and the fans and everybody that kept saying Adam Gase. The Browns really, really didn't. And does that mean they didn't want Gase? Obviously, no. It's pretty clear that they wanted to talk to him. But the fact of the matter is, Gase was sort of looked at by a lot as sort of the golden boy. Like, this is the guy they're waiting. This is why we're waiting, so they can at least talk to him. And at the end, Gase says, no, I'm not interviewing with anybody. That one comes off, it's a little hard to save face on that one. But I do believe they would have talked to Dan Quinn. And, there were rumors that maybe he was the front runner, maybe he wasn't, I don't know. But what I've heard is that Mike Pettin basically didn't really give an ultimatum, but just sort of let them know, like, I can't wait around much. He's like, because we have off-season programs and stuff we need to, there's off-season things I need to work on as Bill's defensive coordinator. And I just need to know soon if I'm going forward as Bill's defensive coordinator or Browns head coach. If it was possible to win the press conference, given the scenario going on, I think he won the press conference. He didn't come out looking bad at all. I think he looked like a great choice in the press conference. I want to stress that. But no matter what would have happened in the press conference, the fact of the matter is, and you summed it up perfectly, okay. Whether it was Dan Quinn, whether it was Adam Gase, any one of these guys, these coordinators, who haven't been a coach before, my reaction would have been the same.
Yeah.
Great. I put some precedence into the press conference just because I like to see how this guy talks to the media, because I like to know, what kind of guy you're going to get as far as, dealing with the media, because it is a big part of it. You can get there's so many different kind of guys. You can get like the boisterous, talkative guy. You get like the Rex Ryan, who actually, talks with people and stuff. You got the, like Bill Belichick, just quiet and everything. Short answers, as quick as possible. He doesn't want to be there and has no problem having he doesn't want to be there. And I always thought one of the worst ones that the Browns have had in a long time was Pat Shurmur. Because he just seemed like you look at him and you're like, okay, there's no like discernible feature about this guy. He just looks like vanilla as hell. Then when you talk to him, you're like, oh my God, he's more boring than I ever could have imagined. There's nothing. There's no fire. There's nothing. He was... Pat Shurmur, I hated Pat Shurmur, the Pat Shurmur hiring, the second it happened. I immediately knew I don't like this guy, and it's not going to work. I don't like it.
Well, you and the rest of the city.
Right.
Exactly. Nobody wanted Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur sucked. Chudzinski's a little different. At least at first, it was more shock than anything.
Yeah.
We hadn't even heard his name as one of the people.
And then all of a sudden,
and when it happened, we were all like, what? And then I feel like we as the media and we as fans sort of sold ourselves on him as time went on, and we got all those stories about, him growing up in Toledo, and they would turn the TV to face outside the window and go outside when it was cold to pretend like they were in the dog pound and stuff like that. We start to really buy into what the Browns were selling us, which was, this is a hometown guy, grew up a Browns fan and whatever. So honestly, who knows? I do feel like there's still a bit of smoke and mirrors with how people thought of Rob Chudzinski, and I think he's always going to get more credit than he deserves in people's minds, just because of they like I do as well, feel awful about how it ended there.
Yeah.
Like no one is gonna come out and say, oh, the one thing I've heard as far as people saying close to saying it was a good move is people at least saying, and it's really one of those look at the bright side kind of deals, is at least this is a front office that wasn't going to wait. Like this was a front office that was like, we realized we made a mistake.
Yeah.
And we're gonna correct it. And it wasn't so much as like, well, they weren't trying to sell us on the Browns' faults as like, well, all these excuses and those excuses and whatever. They turned him into a bit of a fall guy, but the whole thing is, I don't feel like it was a season that needed a fall guy per se, because I feel like a lot of Browns were giving what was going on at least sort of a free pass, is knowing they don't have a quarterback. They got that extra first-round draft pick. They didn't need to fire Chud to save face. Honestly, I don't think firing him was a PR move like it normally is the last couple years when you fire a coach, if you know what I'm saying, But I like Mike Pettin. I just don't know much, about what's going to happen. I'm learning more about him as time goes on. I think it's really interesting that he was a college coach. Or, sorry, not college. High school. And he went directly from high school to an assistant with the Ravens. I think that's pretty interesting. I wonder how you land that job. I know he coached against his dad. His dad was a high school coach. I like that his dad was a coach, and his dad even coached him, because it reminds me of like Andrew Luck with his dad Oliver Luck. You grow up with a guy who teaches and knows football. Whether that guy was good at football or not, time goes on where you're basically being raised with football. It's around you the whole time, and I really like that. But I mean, did you see, by the way, in the press conference introducing Pettin, they did a little joke about the Three Stooges? Joel Banner had a Three Stooges joke in reference to the last press conference. He was like, me and Lombardi, he's like, we're Larry and Curly, and we finally found our Mo. But I think that was funny also because the question was partially calling Haslam one of the Stooges. And that joke was really like, no, he signs the checks.
Yeah, you really don't want Howard Fine and Howard running your team.
All right, let's talk about this, though. Good for the Browns. We'll see how it pans out. Next time we talk about them, it's going to be about the draft, and we'll see when that happens. But right now, let's talk about the big game, Super Bowl 48. What's the best part of the Super Bowl? Yeah, 48.
48,
right?
Wow.
Next.
Oh, closing in on 50.
Right. XLVIII. I know that because of how many times I've had to write it over the last few days. And next year will be XLV. Do I know how Roman numerals work? Let's find out.
5 is a V.
XLIV will be next year, right? Yeah. No, that's 44. Never mind.
Be XLVIV.
There you go. And then 50 will be Super Bowl L.
Yep, just boom.
Just the letter L. In, where did they say? Oh, the new, San Francisco. Santa Fe now. Their new stadium they're opening up next year.
That's where it's at, 50.
Mm-hmm. In that new stadium in Santa Fe. What's the best part of the Super Bowl, Von Erich? You know it as well as I do.
Oh, it's the commercials.
Yes, but I was going for prop bets.
Speaking, Full House has a commercial. They're coming back.
I know. Stephen
so
Colbert
excited.
is the new face of pistachios. I'm pumped. I think it's going to be a good crop this year.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be
As
a
long
good
as
crop.
AT&T puts one out with that guy, I'm happy.
Which guy?
The guy with the kids.
Okay. I don't know.
When they sit around the table and he asks some crazy questions.
Oh, right. He's from
Kindergartners.
That's Bill Burke. Bill Burke. He's on Saturday Night Live now. Anyways.
Okay, so he won't be making more of those.
No, he still does.
They still do it.
He still
They
does.
still do them.
Seinfeld and George.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
They're in the diner.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
I think it might be American Express, or it might be a commercial for a stupid
Wow, they're good doing
coffee
a
show.
lot of. I'm bringing people back from old school shows.
Oh,
I like it.
Cars and Coffee or
Yeah,
whatever.
comedians in
car-
cars getting coffee.
Yeah, that's stupid. I don't like seeing Seinfeld anywhere
all the
anymore.
rage.
I'll be honest with you. Seinfeld it's one of the great shows in the history of our nation, but just
Not a fan.
I don't like him anymore. I mean, even the show sometimes insists upon itself. But we won't get into that. We're going to talk about Super Bowl prop bets. This is the best part. I was reading through these last night. It makes you want to gamble. Which we're not going to condone it. Is it illegal? Is it legal?
Oh,
It's legal.
yes.
We have casinos
Well,
now.
no,
It's
no, no,
completely
I know
legal
that,
in
but
Ohio.
I mean, like all
Sports
this
betting
stuff.
is still illegal in
So do we
Ohio,
condone
even
it?
online.
Do we condone
Really?
this? Wait, it's still illegal?
Yeah, sports betting is illegal in the state
We
of
don't
Ohio.
condone it. We
No.
don't. No.
No, no,
This is-
no.
But if you're taking a trip to Vegas or Atlantic
But
City,
if you're
by
in
all
another
means.
state, I'm not
Go
going to
for
tell
it.
you to go smoke a joint right now. But should you be in Colorado, I'm just going to tell you, feel free to live within the boundaries of the law. That's all I'm going to say. But let's look at some of these prop bets. They start pretty basic. Obviously, if you don't know what a prop bet is, the bets are the real bets. Who's going to win the game? Blah, 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 whatever. Prop bets are fun. Prop bets do get into some statistical aspects of the game, but so many of them, the most famous prop bet, and they do it every year, the national anthem. They release an over-under on how long they think it's going to be. This year, it is opera singer Renee Fleming.
It's
found
gonna
that
be
very
long.
interesting.
Opera singer. It's gonna be long.
The over-under, 2.5. 2.5's a little long for that song, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. There's so much other stuff here. It's like, where is it? All right. Will Renee Fleming forget or omit at least one word from the official U.S. national
If you
anthem?
ever screw up the national anthem, you should be beaten.
Well, I mean, plenty have, but at the Super Bowl, that's...
If you ever
That's
screw the
something.
national anthem
They
up, you
lip
should
sync.
be
It's
beaten.
pre-recorded.
Beaten.
They've been pre-recorded since Whitney Houston was doing it, and they just.
I'm just saying.
Then,
you should be
hey,
beaten.
everybody out there, put all your money on no.
Yes,
Right?
I would do that.
Anyways, will the power go out at the stadium during the game? It is a 25-1 long shot that it's yes, which is a pretty decent yield. So if you really,
I mean,
you make a
it's
lot
gonna
of
be
money if
cold.
the power
Throw
went out.
100 bucks
It's gonna be
down
cold.
Yeah.
Sometimes cold can affect the power.
There's a lot of Renee Fleming ones. Will she wear gloves at the start of the national anthem? What do you think? I mean,
Well, I wouldn't place that bet today. Maybe closer to game time, I would place that.
I think
bet.
she'll wear them. I think she will. I've seen some early weather reports. Plus, she's an opera singer with the elegant opera gloves,
the long silk
everybody in the
ones.
stand with the little binoculars on a stick.
We're gonna have to
It's opera. It's
do a
classy as
Google
hell,
image
man.
search.
Yeah, do some opera gloves. They're those like long ones, and they're elegant as hell. And then there's if she wears gloves, what color will they be? The favorite is white at 5-4 odds. The long shot is red. Just so you know. There's some really good ones here too. Will No Sean Moreno cry during the singing of the national anthem? If you don't remember that, it kind of took on a life of its own. A game earlier this year during the national anthem, he began to weep, but the tears were I can't even describe it. They poured down his face, just this almost comical drip down his chin. Like, it was a lot of liquid. Like, this dude was mad hydrated at the time, I guess. But either way, I mean, it's like around the internet, it's like No Sean Moreno has world's most powerful tears. And he said, I just love this game, and I got swept up in the emotion and everything. So that's a pretty interesting bet. Will No Sean Moreno cry during the national anthem? How many times will Peyton Manning say Omaha during the game? Over under 27.5. My advice, take the over on
Over
that
every time.
all day.
Omaha.
And then they go into the Manning family a little bit. They got how many times will Archie be shown during the game? Over under 2.5. How many times will Eli be shown during the
take the
game?
over on that.
Over under 3.5. I take the over on Eli, certainly.
Yeah.
They're playing in his home, too.
Yeah.
You got Peyton playing in Eli's house, There's this is some really interesting, like, weird ones as far as like there's no way to know where this is gonna go. This is what will be said more during the game, overall telecast. The name Denver Broncos or number one or best offense or anything that alludes to that, or just to the Seattle Seahawks or number one or best defense or anything that alludes to that. That's an odd one. That's a really tough one to figure out. There's definitely no inside track on that one. That's why they're both at even yield. Which coach will be mentioned first after kickoff? Some of these are just like, they're just really weird if you're actually going out and putting money on that.
Yeah.
If you're like, no, I got a guy. He knows for a fact that Joe Buck is gonna say Pete Carroll after
Before John
kickoff.
Fox.
I know this guy. He's telling me. He works there. He's
Just
like
and there's the
He works
kickoff,
in the
Pete
control
Carroll.
room, so he's going to cut to the camera shot of the coach he wants him to mention.
Well, hell, if they know the bets, you just maybe they're playing.
Maybe Joe Buck is
Right,
putting
maybe
a
he's
ton of
putting-
money on
but
John Fox.
That's not true. He's like, hey, look, there's the kickoff, John Fox.
And he's leaking reports about Pete Carroll to, raise the yield and stuff. Will Michael Crabtree mention Richard Sherman in a tweet during the Super Bowl from kickoff until final whistle? Odds are in favor of no, he will not.
Or he'll say, hey, Demaryius Thomas, go knock this boy out.
How many times will 12th man be said during the game? Over under 2.5. How many times will beast mode be said in the game? Over under 2. I don't know why that one's not a half, but whatever. Will announcers use the word marijuana during the game at all? That's an interesting one. We got 11-2 for yes and 1-9 for no. So it's definitely in favor of no. But
Yeah.
will the announcers refer to Russell Wilson being drafted by Major League Baseball? And then it gets into the music side of it. Bruno Mars. That's what I love. It's the first open air cold weather Super Bowl in New York City. So let's put a Hawaiian out there to go sing. Like there's, I don't know. I feel like there's more like New York bands or groups or whatever, but none come immediately to mind unless we put Hologram Sinatra out there. But I don't think that exists yet. So I don't know. I just don't understand Bruno Mars. I guess he's big right now. I guess whatever. Will Bruno Mars and Red Hot Chili Peppers play together on the stage at some point?
Chili Pepper's going to be there too?
Oh yeah.
I can't stand them.
Me neither. Which song will Bruno Mars perform first? Do you want to know the favorite?
White girls.
Treasure at 2-1 odds. Do you know what the long shot is to open the show? Gorilla. I thought that would be a long shot to even be performed.
Yeah,
If you know the song at all, he repeatedly says "you and me making love like gorillas." So
Yeah, it's a tiny inappropriate
I
for
don't
the
know.
Super Bowl.
what kind of hat will Bruno Mars be wearing during at the start of the performance? Odds-on favorite is actually
A derby.
Actually, it's it's no hat is the odds-on favorite. That's interesting.
His little earsies.
Fedora's right there. Fur hat is also in this. It's interesting, really interesting. But some of these are just stupid. Will any member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers be shirtless during their performance?
No.
Odds.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Yes.
Frostbitten nipples.
Yes is at even odds.
have
Yes is the favorite. Will any player receive a penalty for excessive celebration? Just stuff like that. Will Richard Sherman be interviewed on the field after the game by Aaron Andrews on the live Fox broadcast?
Run away, Aaron.
Of course she will. Of course he will.
Yeah.
What color will the Gatorade or liquid be that is dumped on the head coach of the Super Bowl team? Odds-on favorite is clear/water at 2-1. You know what the long shot is? Green.
Green Gatorade. Oh, no one drinks
That's interesting.
green Gatorade.
10-1. That's the first color I think of when I hear Gatorade. I don't
Green?
drink it
It's
by
red or
nose.
yellow.
I always think yellow.
I only drink red.
Red,
but
yellow,
I
or
always
orange?
think green.
Is there
when
even
I
a
first
green
hear it.
Gatorade?
Of course, there's a green Gatorade.
There is not. I've
Yes,
never
there
seen it.
is. Oh dear God! Don't even. It's Gators. Gators are green.
Yeah, but the very first one was yellow.
It doesn't matter.
And then I think red.
Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna do it because we're in the middle of a show. We go on break. I'm just gonna type Gatorade into Google, and we'll see the
Guarantee
very
yellow is
first,
the first one that pops
very
up.
first picture that
No
shows up.
fierce grape.
This one's cool. Or, well, not cool, but interesting. Who will the MVP of the Super Bowl mention first in his speech? Odds-on favorite teammates, followed closely by God. Fans, other teams, or player on other team. Coach, family, owner. And then 4-1 is does not mention any of the above. And I think to myself, how does a player deliver a thank you speech where he does not mention
He mentions
teammates,
himself.
God, fans, other teams, coach, family, or owner?
I'd like to thank
Who's he-
myself.
I'd like to
for
thank
this
me for
wonderful
doing my
Super Bowl
best.
performance.
Good night, everybody. Jim,
I'm going to Disney World.
Options?
former Brown. What?
Is the other team one of the
Other
options?
team or specific player on another team? 7-1. That's on there. Yeah, that's really interesting. I can't think of what
He's
else.
going to
he would
mention
thank.
Disney World first.
I want to thank
Disney
the weather.
World for allowing me to go there.
Right. Who will the MVP of the Super Bowl mention first in his speech? Yeah, that's right. I want to thank Disney World for allowing me to go there. No, you hear Mike Adams. Mike Adams, former Brown safety, current Bronco. this was really interesting. He's from a town in New Jersey, right? He has said that if the Broncos win, he is not going to be, he's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to Disneyland. He's going home to his hometown 10 miles away. He said pads and all, what he's going to do is leave and walk. And he said once he's made it a couple miles to the IHOP on whatever highway, he says he's going to possibly hitchhike from there. And it's through a terrible neighborhood, I've heard. But he says he's going to go helmets, pads, and all. He's going to walk straight home to celebrate. I don't know.
Get a ride.
Whatever, dude.
Get someone will drive you.
We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, you're going to find out what's urinating us off. We're going to go back over our Super Bowl picks real quick. 3 up, 3 down, all that and so much more. Jim Tomey statue, Progressive Field. There's so much to get to. We'll be right back.
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
I know. Oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious, I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more.
And almost taste it.
Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
Yo, it's Woody. Now, I know a thing or two about women, and I want to help all the ladies out there take care of their men. Happy Endings Orgasmically Organic Massage Oil. Yeah, I said orgasmically organic, made right here in Cleveland. Now, no other product delivers this level of purity and performance. It's guaranteed to improve your overall experience and keeps that sensitive skin soft and smooth. Guys, don't be a tool. You're doing it anyway. Might as well do it right. Get your happy ending at happyendingsoil.com. That's happyendingsoil.com. Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits, a 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. If you have a product or service, let people know about it. Get your message out there and advertise on MSC Radio Network. It's easier than you think, and the whole planet is listening. Find out how you can advertise. Email Chris at morningshowcentral.com. Oh, great. Not another Farmville request. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/morningshowcentral. Denying one Farmville request at a time. MSC Radio Network has just tweeted the following. This bowel movement won't come out. Check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/MSC Radio. User-friendly and ready to serve. MorningShowCentral.com. Call the show toll-free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on MorningShowCentral.com.
Oh, wow. Language.
Okay, he was PMSing.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
This is President Barack Obama, and you're listening to MSC Radio Network.
P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. With hundreds of live weather products and layers and thousands of combinations, Weather Studio provides a professional graphics and storm monitoring solution without complex user knowledge and without the industry standard price tag of $1,000 plus broadcast systems. Weather Studio displays a plethora of critical atmospheric and geophysical data on an interactive GIS-enabled computer map. Get your free 14-day trial of Weather Studio at their website, weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. That's weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningShowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
I'm Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Ashley.
And I am Von Erich, and I'm here too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's
and
here.
whether you are joining us tonight on one of the many glorious apps at home on your computer, thank you for making Hanini Subs a part of your evening. If you are not on one of the many glorious apps, take your smartphone, search for TuneIn Radio. It is free to download. Simply install it, search MSC Radio Network, hit play, and you'll listen to us live on the go from your phone. Call the show toll-free 1-888-668-0742. Email your questions or comments to shows with an S at morningshowcentral.com. And of course, follow us on Twitter at _on_sports. I am at eRalphieW. He is at Von Erich. Facebook.com/HighOnSports is the fan page. Go ahead and give it a like. And the website is highonsports.net. It's got the archive of all our past shows, Mark's blog, and a bunch of other fun stuff. Again, that's highonsports.net. All right, round two. Let's do this. It is time for a stable of High on Sports. And that is, of course, what's urinating us off. And we're going to start, as we always do, with Von Erich, who's brought a visual aid. So, Von Erich, go ahead.
All right, I'm going hockey again. 2 weeks in a row.
Oh.
Well, the NHL is doing something that, well,
ridiculous.
They've done it for the past couple of years, and it's got them some of the biggest crowds they've ever gotten. They do the stadium tour, where they do outdoor arenas or stadiums, and they have a hockey game. And they did one in Los Angeles in Dodger Stadium between the LA Kings and their close rival, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Or I don't think they call themselves the Mighty Ducks.
No, they
anymore.
don't.
It's just the Ducks
That's
now.
ridiculous.
That is asinine.
How are you going to name a team after a movie and
I would
then
always
take
name
away the movie
anything
name?
after an Emilio Estevez movie.
All right, well,
All right, Go on.
Speaking of Emilio Estevez, someone in Los Angeles was not happy about the hockey game. And they, a member of the Dodgers organization tweeted, and we have that tweet here, a picture of it, a picture of the game. "It's a perfect day for hockey," said no one in Los Angeles ever.
Oh.
Who sounds a little disgruntled.
Hashtag Stadium Series.
Sounds like a spoiled kid who doesn't want to share his toy with his little brother. If I'm not mistaken, the LA Kings won the Stanley Cup just a few years ago, so I would say they'd be pretty popular in the LA
Did you
area.
see their parade? Well, not the parade, just the people waiting for them, like when the team got back from the airport after they won.
No.
It was like there's more people in this studio right now. It was bad. I'm sure a lot of them had to text their friends to tell them in the first place that LA had a hockey team and then that they won. I'm just saying. I'm always going to side against hockey, so that's
the
just
great one. Wayne Gretzky was playing for the LA Kings, and they were the hottest ticket in town.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it warm in Los Angeles?
Oh, I don't know the science behind it.
And they were outside.
It's
They
also
had an ice arena.
it's like,
Wouldn't
well, how
that
do you have ice
melt?
inside a building?
Well,
It's warm in there.
inside of a building is different.
No, they're
'Cause
cooling
there's-
the ice under the ice.
Yeah, but won't the sun be beating on it?
I don't
I don't care how cool you got
I
it
don't know.
underneath. When the sun's beating on it, it's gonna melt.
We're probably
I
sounding
feel
really
like
stupid right
they'd be
now.
skating on slush.
Maybe.
I just feel like LA is a weird spot to have an outdoor hockey game.
I'm sure they got that
Just saying.
figured out to where
I mean,
got,
obviously, if they did
coolers
it, they
underneath.
must have figured it
How
out.
god awful of a league would they be if they didn't even have that figured out? It's like, and the puck is off, or like, oh no, and they just
Slush
people are
everywhere.
halfway sucked into the water, and the NHL officials are just staring at it like, oh my god, what have we done? How did nobody realize this? How did none of us think that it doesn't snow in LA? Oh crap. We're done.
Just throwing it out there.
Oh crap! Speaking of the LA, you said they're drawing big attendances and stuff. I actually have a fun fact. It'll come up later in 3 Up, 3 Down. But they did that game in the Big House, like on New Year's Day or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They aimed to, and they claimed they were the largest attendance ever for a hockey game ever, beating out a game held also at the Big House between Michigan and Michigan State, which had about 103,000, I want to say 102, 103. The NHL believes, according to its estimations, that it had 104,000 attend the game. Well, the agreement they made with Guinness World Records and with the people counting tickets and everything is like their official number would be the total number of barcodes scanned at the end for the tickets. Well, apparently the issue is that the ticket attendant people stopped scanning them in the second half. So anyone who could have theoretically not shown up to the game till the second half of the game didn't get their ticket scanned, like through the scanner, so it didn't officially count towards the thing. So by the NHL's estimations, and we'll never know for sure, nor will we care, but by the NHL's estimations, they had the biggest attendance for a hockey game ever. But the drunk people at the Guinness World Records will not officially acknowledge that because there's not documented proof enough
Well, I mean,
to call it.
if you're missing the
largest
first
attendance
half, then you technically, why do you even get to count it anyway?
ever. Yeah,
You didn't go for the whole game.
that's true.
You showed up the halfway to 3/4 of the way through it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, thank you, Von Erich. I hate this. I really do. I just even possibly the greatest goalie of all time, Martin Brodeur of the New Jersey Devils, played on Sunday, which that was yesterday. He played at Yankee Stadium, and he said it was the worst ice he has ever played on. He said it was ridiculous. The thing is, this game, you've made it. You have an arena game. Don't like I liked.
Yeah.
An outside game once a year, on New Year's Day, whatever. No matter what you do though on New Year's Day, no one's ever gonna give a half a crap because there's actual college football going on, important games. But I'm just saying, you had that one. It made it special that it was like one NFL stadium or baseball stadium or something. Now it's like they're going back Wednesday
For another one?
in New York again in Yankee Stadium. It's gonna be the freaking Rangers and the Islanders.
Why do
And
they?
it was just the Rangers, and they're trying to take advantage right now in New York of Super Bowl week. That's why they're trying to cram as many New York games as they can in.
I don't get the
Oh, yeah,
I don't
January
get the
29th,
outside
New
thing.
York versus
Hockey,
New York.
Exactly.
You don't see. Next thing you know, you don't see the NBA. The NBA does a lot of ridiculous crap. They're not courts in baseball stadiums.
That would be kind of cool.
No, would it? Because you go take a jump shot, a gust of wind blows your ball, and then you miss it. I used to play basketball outside all the time. It blows ass when it's windy.
Remember in the college when they started to do that every once a year they'd play on
that Carrier Bowl, then the Ohio
Air
State
Force
one
thing?
got canceled because it was like
I'll tell you what I'd love them
rainy
to do
and misty, and the court they couldn't keep dry. It doesn't work.
I would love them to go play on a military base, honestly.
I mean, that'd be
play
cool.
a basketball game out there. It doesn't have to be in some stadium or something like that, you know. Send them to the Middle East and play a game. If Dennis Rodman can go to North Korea, then anybody can go anywhere. So that's what I'm saying. Send them over to our troops overseas. Watch them play. We'll have the Heat over there and the Lakers. So if anything does happen, good, you know.
Oh my
I'm
god,
just
that's
saying.
terrible.
But anyways, thank you, Von Erich.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Von Erich. And now we're gonna slide over to the world of hoops, and so it's gonna be the Cavaliers. There was a micro debate there. You guys couldn't probably tell, but now I'm bringing it up. If it was about to be the Buckeyes or the Cavaliers, but anyways, it's gonna be the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers did one of the worst performances, and that's saying something with the amount of just crap performances they've put together this year. The Cavs are infuriating me beyond anybody else because normally when a team sucks, you can at least, and this is in any sport, you can at least say, oh, well, we don't have pitching, or we don't have a running game, or we don't have a coach, or anything like that. The Cavaliers, every time there's any bit of success, they immediately follow it up by laying the biggest egg that they possibly can. They make a huge trade, land Luol Deng. They follow it up just 2 games later with a 44-point loss to the Kings. Yet they've gone close with teams that are going to be in the playoffs and hang tough with teams like that. And then, 44-point loss to the Kings. This problem of mine comes from the Suns. The Cavaliers played the Suns yesterday. And at halftime, they actually had a pretty decent lead there. I can't do the math right
18?
now, but it's something like that. They followed that up by putting 6 points in the third quarter. 6
I don't even understand how that's
points.
possible.
You know how you score 6 points?
I could close my eyes
Somebody
and
hits
score
2
6 points in a
threes,
quarter.
and then that's it. I'm not saying that it was. I'm just saying to give you an example there. 2 3-pointers, and then nothing.
That's terrible.
That is inexcusable. I don't know what they do. I don't know who they fire. I think Chris Grant is going to be first. This is a big contract for Mike Brown. If Mike Brown were working for free, I think he would have been fired already. Or if he was working for a reasonable amount. If it was like a 1-year, couple $100,000 or something deal, he's gone right now. But it's a big contract, and it's something they're not going to, get out of this quickly. It just baffles me. I can watch a game and I can normally see he's doing that, he's pressing there and he shouldn't be. I can normally at least see what's wrong. The Cavaliers find a new problem every trip down the court. This time they're not passing enough. Next time they're passing too errantly. Next time they're taking terrible shots. Next time they're holding the ball too long. They just can't they can't even figure out how they want to suck. They want to suck in every way that they can. And there's not enough minutes to suck that much in one game. It just can't be done. Give up. Stop trying to suck this hard. I don't understand what it is. It's a young team, and I honestly, and I felt like from the start, I don't feel like Mike Brown is the best choice for this team. I'm not blaming everything that's going on Mike Brown, because part of it is on Kyrie Irving, Kyrie Irving is quickly becoming someone whose awards is outweighing what he's actually done. If you get what I'm saying. Named this week to Team USA and a starter for the All-Star game. He's starting for the East. and Rookie of the Year and all the Player of the Week awards and all. He's slowly starting to stockpile more awards than he is actual merits, actual
Wins?
At this point, he's gonna have more trophies this year than wins. And again, and I'm not trying to put all this on him.
Well, I think the worst part, or maybe it's the best part about all of this, is that the whole East is so terrible
That
that
they're
we're
not even
still
out of
only
it.
2 games out from the 8th seed in the playoffs.
That's true. If the Cavs finish with a losing record, but they're a middle of the road playoff team, I'm not upset. I guess just a little more confused. All right,
I guess it's just we're just in the worst conference league, anything in any sport possible, then it's going to be okay for us.
All right, let's talk about this. The Cleveland Indians have announced a new addition. No, they have not signed a free agent.
Although they did sign Elliot Johnson, infielder.
Sure, I guess. Did anyone tell him? I don't even know. No, I saw that. You're right. But no, they've announced on August the 2nd of this year, they will be unveiling a statue of Jim Thome. There is one other statue at the Indians, and it is Hall of Fame pitcher Bob Feller, one of the greatest humans to ever grace this planet. I respect Jim Thome. Jim Thome is the career leader in home runs for the Indians. 337 home runs. He hit 612 total. This is one of the least deserving statues.
Yeah.
That I'm hard pressed to think of another statue that was put too soon or anything like that. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar still doesn't have a statue in Los Angeles. He scored more points than anyone ever in basketball, and he still doesn't have a statue. Jim Thome is about to join Bob Feller as the two men worthy of being immortalized in full-figure bronze.
They're doing it because they're trying to get people to come to the stadium. Hey, come look at the Jim Thome statue.
This also comes actually not long after, and this is justifiable, but announcing that Omar Vizquel is being added to the Indians Hall of no, not the team, the Hall of
Well, I'm not excited anymore.
Whatever they
Indians
call it.
Hall of Fame.
Indians Hall of Fame. Yeah. No, he's with the Tigers.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, he's gonna be like the third base
Bastard.
coach or first base coach or something with the Tigers. Speaking of working for the rival, the man who is getting a statue unveiled of himself in front of Progressive Field is currently working as a special assistant with the White Sox.
Oh, yeah.
He works for one of your rivals.
Spent plenty of time with the White Sox, too.
That he
Almost
did.
as much as he spent with the Indians.
That he did.
And he wanted to continue on there when his playing days were over.
But, yeah, Cleveland's going to give him a statue.
I hope someone rips the head off that statue like a Green Hornet movie. Not that anyone saw that.
Solid reference. Seth Rogen Green Hornet movie. Yes. That's a fantastic film. Everybody, as soon as everything in between's over, jump
Just
on
go
over to
watch it.
Netflix, hit up one of the dying video stores in your neighborhood or something. Find the Green Hornet. Just watch it.
Let's start a trend.
Let's get them a big influx of money so they'll make a sequel.
We'll put the picture of the trophy or the statue on High on Sports, and then we'll hashtag it Green Lanterns.
No, Green Hornet.
Or Green Hornet, I'm sorry.
Green Lantern.
Or whatever.
Green Lantern, that was... I'd rather have my head cut off than see the Green Lantern. But anyways, he's going to be posing like he's pointing the bat
yeah.
at the pitcher.
Who is he, Babe Ruth?
Well,
Right?
no, he always did that.
Yeah, he always
though.
did that. It was actually a move that was suggested to him by Cleveland minor league hitting coach Charlie Manuel, the man who went on to lead the Philadelphia Phillies to the World Series title. Suggested that Thome should point his bat at the pitcher and him up before hitting. He got the idea from watching Robert Redford's character Roy Hobbs in the film The Natural. So, good for him. Why don't we put a statue of Robert Redford then? If that's what we're doing. Robert Redford was in Cleveland. He was filming the new Captain America movie. That pretty much there's the same contribution right there.
It's more fitting.
Exactly. Where's our Robert Redford statue? That's what I want to know. No, this is too soon. I'm sorry. He's a career leader in home runs, and I'm not trying to take that away from him. He was on 2 teams that went to the World Series. But where's Kenny Lofton's statue?
Yeah.
Right.
Where's Omar's statue?
Omar Vizquel's
Where's
statue?
Charlie Nagy's statue?
Where's Larry Doby's statue?
Right.
Exactly. There's just too many. It doesn't make sense because it feels like you're setting a new standard. Now,
Yeah.
where's Manny Ramirez's statue?
Right, yeah.
That's what I want to know.
He got a lot of hits for the Indians.
That's what I want to know.
And he did the
And to
same
be
thing
quite
Tommy
honest,
left. He
I don't
left
think
somewhere
any of those people
to get
deserve
more
a
money.
statue.
You're absolutely right, Von Erich, and that's my issue with this. That's why I'm bringing that up. I'm trying to make a point to prove how foolish this is. You're entirely right. None of those people deserve a statue. So why is one of them getting it? Wait, give him a statue in LA. He was a Dodger.
It's all about publicity.
Could you
The
imagine?
Indian, their front out, they sold out. They're like, we need to put fans in. So, hey, Tommy, you want a statue? Everybody loved you 10 years ago.
Could you imagine if it was an Albert Bell statue?
Where's
That'd be
the
a-
Albert Bell statue? Thank you. Where is it? This is the problem. Listen, getting into like a Hall of Fame, like your sports Hall of Fame is honestly is the second greatest honor. The greatest honor that you can get in a in a retired sports career is this.
Yeah.
A full statue of you put in front of where you played.
The way I look at statues,
That's
for
the
someone
best
who's
honor.
played like basically their whole career, their whole Hall of Fame career for a team. It's not someone who played the majority of their career or half their career for a team, but then left to go get paid better and then spend the last 10 years of his career everywhere else.
Let's not forget he ditched here to go to Philly for
He
the
wasn't
money.
here for 99% of his career. Michael Jordan has a statue in Chicago because he was there.
Deservedly so.
He was there for his whole career until he came back
The only thing
and
that-
played 2
the only
years
thing
for
that's
Washington,
different
which
is-
don't count.
And we'll go on this because I just wanted to say the only thing that's different is you set a standard when you erect your really like your second statue.
Yeah.
Is because Alabama Crimson Tide, they have 2 statues and it's Paul Bryant and it's Nick Saban, because if you win a championship for the Alabama Crimson Tide, you get a statue. That's the rule. That's how it works. So it's not left to debate, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways,
But-
downtime. Down number 3, Chris Johnson, 28-year-old halfback, will require surgery on his torn meniscus. 28 years old, knee surgery.
He's done.
Have fun. Number 2, Tiger Woods scores a 79 at Torrey Pines to miss the secondary cut for the Farmers Insurance Open. I didn't realize how excited I was that golf was back until I watched some yesterday. It was quite fun. Down number 1, the NHL. Yeah, I like it. Down number 1, the NHL. They thought they had the Guinness World Record for largest attendance for a hockey game ever, but due to a counting error, obviously, as we talked about earlier, the record is null. Uptime, number 3, Kyrie Irving, named All-Star starter and finalist for Team USA for the first time in his career, right after we bashed all of those accolades. Anyways, up number 2, Jim Thome, right after we bashed his accolades. Have a statue of himself on... You get the picture. And up number 1, by the way, this was an all Cleveland up. Kyrie Irving, Jim Thome, and up number 1, Browns fans! Regardless of whether or not you're satisfied with the hire, the Browns hired a coach!
All right.
They certainly did.
They did it! We did it! Mission accomplished! Put the mission accomplished banner up! We
And
did
now we're
it!
Stuck with them.
All right. That's going to do it for us this week. Next week, we're going to try to talk about the Super Bowls. It's probably going to be more commercials than anything.
Oh, the commercials. They're so great.
But that's going to do it for this week. Next week, we will be back. Same time, same place. For Chris, for Von Erich, for Ashley, I am Ralphie saying good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Thanks for listening to High on Sports on MorningshowCentral.com.